Hi, welcome all of you. Hi, welcome to VYAPT Growth Series Season 2, Episode 29. And in our growth series today, we have with us Mr. Masud Khan, who is the chairman of Unilever Consumer Care Limited. Hello, Mr. Masud. Nice to
Hi,
have you on our platform.
thank you very much for inviting me.
Mr. Masood, we have four curiosities which we wanted to probably understand from you regarding the consumer care industry in Bangladesh. So the first curiosity goes like, what are the growth prospects of the consumer care industry in Bangladesh and how it is working towards a sustainable future?
So, thank you again for inviting me to this session. And I also, of course, would like to thank all our viewers that are joining this session. So, your question regarding the question that you mentioned about the growth prospects of this industry in Bangladesh. So, first of all, we are in the health food business. So, when we talk about health food, basically we're talking about food that we say actually supplements our health needs and nutritional needs. So health food actually, if you look at Bangladesh, for example, let's say that of the total spend that consumer spends in terms of food, 50% is for total consumer spend. 50% is for food actually, and 50% is for other items like
Mhm.
housing, education, shelter, etc. Now, if I look at the monthly household expenditure between 2000 and 2016 in Bangladesh, this has gone up three times. So with rising affluence and rising GDP growth, this amount is actually quadrupled. It gone up three times the last 16 years actually. The other point, the important point for us to understand is that when we talk of consumer class, so people who spend more than $11 per day, which we say middle or rich class in Bangladesh. So today we have got around 35 million people in
Mhm.
Bangladesh, but we are projecting that it's projected by
Mhm.
the way by international that by 2030 this number will go up to 85 million, which will actually catapult us in terms of rank
Oh.
from 28 to 11 actually.
Mhm.
So huge potential in terms of, as we
Okay.
see, in terms of affluence, and affluence leads to actually higher spending, and higher spending would lead to also higher spending in terms of health food, because with affluence there's also a sort of rising awareness that we need to look after our health. So people will start spending money in health food as well. So at today, for example, as we speak, we are really lagging behind in the region actually in terms of spending. We are, let's say, one quarter or half of the spending in the region per capita spending of FMCG products actually. So this is the prospect. We are very excited about the prospect in Bangladesh as far as health food is concerned. And your second part of the question regarding the sustainability of this industry. So again, when we talk of sustainability, we are talking about a few issues. Like first of all, we talk about ESG in particularly we're talking about environment, social, and governance. So
Mhm.
in terms of environment, we are doing a lot. We have started a lot because Unilever globally has got a carbon footprint as well also. So they
Mhm.
have so in Bangladesh also we have started this process. So we are now actually recycling jars and plastic cap, for example. And for example, last year we recycled around 150 tons actually.
Mhm.
So the second point that start part we have started doing is this, that we have actually, along with Unilever Bangladesh, which is a sister company, we have
Mhm.
embarked on a pilot project that to collect plastic, right? So we employ people in the neighborhood actually, whose job is to collect plastic from everywhere and send it to the recycling companies actually. So this
Mhm.
is what we have started as well also. The third part is we have actually re-engineered 25 SKUs so that they are more environmentally friendly.
Mhm.
Apart from that, the other important point is that we are now what we are trying to emphasize is the door-to-door campaign. For example, we believe that in Bangladesh, the if you go to the rural areas, the
Mhm.
awareness about nutrition is very poor actually. So what we are now doing is that we are now emphasizing on good nutrition amongst the households, and that is another. For example, let's say last year we reached around 2 million households during this process actually, and our target is that this year we reach around 2.5 million by next year actually. In fact. So this is another important the thing that we're doing in terms of making sure that people understand what is good nutrition, and especially mothers. We also work a lot with mothers actually to make sure that they have the nutrition, and of course mother's milk is very important for all of us. We say that mother's milk is important, but you can supplement this with other holics that you've got as a variant actually. In fact. So this is more or less, you might say that in terms of what we're doing as far as sustainability is concerned actually.
Wonderful. Great to see the kind of efforts being taken by the consumer care industry to ensure that the kind of sustainability we're looking at and the growth prospects which you talked around this industry,
Right,
going forward as we
right,
see the next level of growth coming up in this particular industry.
right,
Uh, we understand that the growth prospers through innovation.
right,
And I'm sure this industry would also be innovating itself for the next level of opportunities coming in, and also, innovating itself for the next level of challenges coming in, to
right,
ensure that there is a sustained growth for this industry as well. So, can you
right.
talk about what kind of new innovations happening in this industry, and how through innovations the industry is creating opportunities for younger generation?
Okay, thank you very much. Very good question. Thank you very much. So first of all, when we talk of innovation, basically we are talking about innovation in two fronts here, as far as we are concerned. One is the innovation in product, and one is the innovation in services, actually, right? So
Hmm.
we start with the product itself. So, let's say if I go back a few years, we were talking about having one form of Horlicks, which we used to call standard Horlicks, right? But then we found that after sort of doing sort of customer segmentation and understanding the customer needs, we found that actually there are other needs emanating from the customers. So, for example, we launched Junior Horlicks later on, and Horlicks Women Plus. Especially, I would say the Horlicks Women Plus and the Horlicks Mother Plus have been really very successful launches here amongst the variants. And Junior Horlicks has also picked up very well in Bangladesh as well. So I think this is the first part in terms of making sure that we innovate in the product, and we keep on bringing out new variants. We also got other products as well, like Boost and Boost Maltova also are products as well. We got Glucomax also, which is actually a glucose supplement. That also we have got, which is also selling well in Bangladesh as well. So this is the first part as far as innovation in product is concerned. The second part is innovation in services. And when I talk about innovation in services, what we are saying is that the first and important point is the technology. In
Hmm.
terms of what we are doing to embrace technology in all our sphere of working actually. So, for example, let's say to give you an example, at the retail front, we have got around we service around 4,20,000 outlets in Bangladesh,
Hmm.
and we have got the dealers who have got their own workforce, which is around 6,000. So whenever they capture order, this is actually totally automated process. So it's linked to the total order of the dealer, and it comes to the company, and also to the stock part as well. So it is linked to the supply chain as well. So this is fully automated actually, this part.
Hmm.
In the factory also, we are doing a lot of automation, and gradually some robotics is coming in also. So right now actually, our the next big part is that we start doing our own raw materials. For example, the DMI that we call it, dry mix ingredient that we use for Horlicks, that we're now importing. So in future, we'll be actually manufacturing in Bangladesh. So in this process, we'll be automating it totally using robotics in a big way actually, in fact. And apart from that, I would say in terms of other services, like for example, ERP is now the bread and butter as far as the company is concerned. So most services are automated now. So I think this is the other part in terms of innovation services, because we find that in the future, to be lean and thin, you got to automate and cut down on cost actually. So this is the other part that we're doing actually in terms of making sure that we sort of innovate and keep on innovating in the future. And at the same time, what we're doing is this, that in terms of the product packaging, we keep on actually looking at the packaging all the time, to make sure that we can reduce the carbon footprint as well as reduce the raw material content actually in fact. So this work always goes on as far as the packaging is concerned as well.
Okay, so you talked about a lot of automation coming in and a lot of you're doing different packaging as well, and
Right,
the kind of employment this is going to generate is humongous, both in terms of direct and indirect employment. You also
right,
talked about that through innovation you are creating opportunities for better product for your customers, and you are ensuring that more and better services can be provided to the customers. Now,
absolutely.
this is so encouraging to hear from you with the kind of work which Unilever Consumer Care has been doing for the masses in Bangladesh.
If I may
Uh,
just supplement one or two more points,
Please,
Pankaj.
please.
So, let's say, for example, in terms of you talked about the direct and indirect employment, actually, in fact.
Mm-hmm,
So I talked about the direct. Direct is not much because, as you know, as a company, we have far less people. But
mm-hmm,
indirectly, we say, for example, the sales force, the dealer's
mm-hmm,
sales force around 6,000. At
mm-hmm,
the same time, we service, around 4,20,000 outlets all over Bangladesh, which
mm-hmm,
is a big number, and this number is going up every year, actually, in fact.
mm-hmm,
Then at the same time, let's say when we do this door-to-door campaign we talked about, in terms of the fundamentals of good nutrition, for example, let's say, and also educating the mothers and the junior people. So there also we use indirectly a lot of people who go for this household work as well. So indirectly we are influencing a lot of lives in Bangladesh actually through this. Being an effective company, indirectly we actually touch a lot of lives in Bangladesh actually.
that's so wonderful to hear
Yeah.
from you. Now, after these questions, I would move on to our next round, which is rapid fire round. We'll have 10 questions, each question to be answered in one word or a maximum of a sentence. Are you ready?
Okay. Fire away.
Okay, so we will move forward with it. So 10 questions. So here we go.
Sure.
The first one, what is your favorite day of the week?
Well, it is. If you ask me, it will be Thursday because I look forward for the weekend.
Okay, if you could travel back in time, what period would you like to go back?
Um, this is a very interesting question because it was just last week I was talking to my son, and exactly we were talking about this point, and I was telling him that look, take all my money, take all my fame, and take me back to my school days.
Okay, so you'd like to go to your school days.
Oh yes, absolutely. I love those days. Absolutely, the childhood days are really absolutely golden. Absolutely, yeah.
So if your life was a story, what would it be titled? What would be the title of the story?
So if my life was a story, I would say it will be sort of saying that turning a vision into reality.
Turning a vision into reality. Interesting.
Yeah.
What is your favorite comfort food? Something you can eat anytime.
This is very boring because some of the food that I have is something bit different, I would say. So just to
Mm-hmm.
give you some sample, in the morning I have my breakfast, and my
Mm-hmm.
breakfast is some very funny foods. Like
Uh-huh.
say, for example, I have this turmeric juice, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have
Turmeric.
aloe vera, I have
Uh-huh.
ginger, I have garlic, I have fresh fruits, and at the end of the day, end of my breakfast, I have tea, raw tea
Mm-hmm.
with honey and and
Mm-hmm.
tamarind, right?
Okay, so pretty health conscious, huh? I'm sure our
Very
viewers
yes,
would be seeing the secret of your fitness. Pretty health conscious about your diet.
yes,
Uh,
absolutely.
the next question: what advice would you give to your younger self? You wanted to go back to your school days now. Give yourself an advice.
Yes, yes. Well, if I go back to my school days, I would try to get more friends actually, because I was really a big introvert actually. In fact, I had
Mhm.
only just one or two friends, and I think I regret it now, actually. In fact, yeah.
You actually want to enjoy your school life once again.
Yes, absolutely, sure, for sure. Those were the
Okay.
days, yeah.
What was the last thing you watched on TV?
I don't watch TV very much. The last one, of course, was the World Cup finals. Actually, after
Okay,
that, yeah, sorry.
your favorite all-time leader.
You know, my favorite all-time leader, I would say, is Nelson Mandela.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, apart from being a leader, what he has done as far as apartheid is concerned, about bringing democracy. But I read his quotes and I get fascinated by his quotes. Actually, in fact, like he says that one very very nice quote that I like about him is that he says it's always seems impossible until it is done. Beautiful quote. And the second one is that I never lose. I either win or I learn. Actually, So I love this guy absolutely. His quotes, especially.
Wonderful. Your favorite hobby?
Reading and singing.
Luck or hard work? What would you choose?
My life has always been hard work. Actually, I believe in hard work. Simple.
Your favorite destination?
Plenty of them. So my village, Kolkata, where I was born and brought up actually, and I love going to London and Seattle in US actually. Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of favorite destinations. Many times you must
Lot
be,
of them.
thinking which to choose to go this particular time, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So 10 on 10 to you in this rapid fire round. You have done fantastically well, Mr. Masood.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you. And now we'll move on to our next curiosity, which is about you as a leader.
Sure.
Uh, you know, your entire career has been an epitome of success. You have been independent directors in over six different boards, helping those organizations also go to achieve newer heights. uh, Wherever you have worked, you have been able to transform the organization, take it to the next level, giving value to the shareholders and also to the consumers of your product and services, which you've been catering through the organizations. So, what is Mr. Masood Khan all about? What is that which makes Masood? What are some of the qualities or some of the learnings which you might have got from your, elders, teachers, colleagues, or whosoever who have had an acquaintance in your life or something, maybe some kind of a memory which you want to share with us, please?
Uh, Good question, Pankaj. Thank you so much. So, when I think back actually in my life, I remember a very amusing incident in my life which happened when I was in Kolkata studying in Don Bosco School, and one of my sister's friends, she came to my home
Mm-hmm.
and she asked me this question. So, Masood, what do you want to do in your life? So at that time, I had heard about this qualification called Chartered Accountancy in India. So
Mm-hmm.
where 100 people appeared and two passed, 98 perished, right? I said that, okay, I must be in the two. I decided, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know much about the qualification, but I saw that this was a real challenge. So let's go for the challenge. That I decided.
Mm-hmm.
So I told her, look, Ritu, I want to be a chartered accountant. So she looked at me very curiously for quite a long while, and she said, Masood, in my life, I've seen many chartered accountants. I have yet to see a chartered accountant. So that was my vision in life, that I want to be a chartered accountant. I want to be the two that who qualify actually, in fact. So I would say, Alhamdulillah, I've done well in that sense. So I was a rank holder at Senior Cambridge, West Bengal, and thereafter I went for St. Xavier's College, which was my
Mm-hmm.
college alma mater. And thereafter, I did my chartered accountancy as well as cost management accounts in India, and I was a rank holder in India as well. As far as chartered accountancy exam was concerned, I was a silver medalist.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's my first part of my journey, and the second part is where I start learning. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Learning means that my three companies that I work for, one is British American, BAT, British American Tobacco, in Bangladesh, as well as in a very interesting country called Liberia
Mm-hmm.
in the year 1984-85. So those, that period of my life, which is almost 20 years, it was a learning experience all the time. Actually, in fact, one example I'll give you. For example, towards end of 80s, we decided to close a factory because
Mm-hmm.
we had two factories, and at that time unions were very very strong. In Bangladesh as well as in India also, we did
Mm-hmm.
everything with the unions. So the company decided that they will close the Chittagong factory. So this was unheard of in
Mhm.
Bangladesh. At that time, it was unheard of. That how can you close a factory? It is impossible. Government will not allow you. Union will not allow you. But it was a great learning experience for me because I worked with the HR director for 1 year. For 1 year, we planned this for 3 months and we executed this to perfection. There exactly I learned the Lewin's theory, the Lewin's theory of unfreezing, move, and freezing. That was exactly Lewin's theory in practice, and we did that very nicely in 1 year's time. Great learning for me. That company, BAT, was a great learning experience. Things like that we did was we were light years ahead. ERP in Bangladesh in 1987, we did that. Assessment Center in 1990, trade marketing in 1990. Huge learning there. So that was my first company. The second company was even more interesting. It was Lafarge Sumer Cement, a cement company in Bangladesh, where the limestone comes from India. So cross-border belt brings limestone from India to Bangladesh, one of
Mhm.
its kind in the world. We don't have anything else in the world actually. There also the learning experience has been tremendous is the word for it actually. Tremendous. In terms of how do I marshal a loan of $153 million from five international lenders and this cross-border complexities that took place. So there was another learning experience. After I joined this company that I'm working now currently, so GSK, I'm the chairman, but I'm also chief advisor to a group of local companies. Here, after joining this place, I have now I'm spending a lot of time in sales and marketing, and I've
Mhm.
traveled all across Bangladesh, and huge learning is the word for it. In one word, huge learning. The amount of learning I did in the last 4 5 years in terms of sales and marketing, I did not do in my entire lifetime actually because I've
Mhm.
talked to every salesman at the ground level. I've talked to retailers, and we know exactly what counts as far as sales is concerned. So yeah, overall, I would say that if you ask me this question, that what have you done? So I, as a person, I always think of Nelson Mandela. He's my icon in that sense because I keep on learning all the time.
Mhm.
Every moment that I spend in this company, also I listen to people and I try to learn what is something new, and I've learned. I keep learning all the time. Actually, this is my nature. Actually, and I feel that this has helped me a lot. Actually, in fact, in terms of my
Mhm.
career over the years. Plus, the other point that you mentioned about being a good leader, I think because at the end of the day, when you come to companies and you come to a certain level, you're actually working through people, and I think I have been fairly successful because I could always make sure that I always engage my people, I empower them, I respect them, I give them what they deserve and much more actually, in fact, and I try to lead by example. So these are the sort of things which has helped me in my life because I always really believe that my n minus ones
Mhm.
have to be better than me. I always believe that, and I made sure that they are fully developed. That if I leave, also, for example, let's say he can come to my shoes and step over and take my shoes. Actually, so I always believe that in that empowerment. I always believe that people should be empowered to make sure that they take their own decisions, and they have to be better than me. They're not a challenge to me. They're better than me. They have to be better than me. So this has always worked in my case, and I'm happy so far. Actually, yeah.
Wonderful to hear from you, Masud, regarding the kind of things, the humbleness, and the great grit and determination you have been carrying along in the entire transformation journey as a leader. And it gives us a lot of pleasure in terms of understanding your leadership style, your hands-on, getting into details, understanding from the basics and at
Yes.
the ground level, and
Yes.
taking care of your people along with the organization. Thank you
In
so
fact,
much.
yeah, one more point I'd just like to add. That I have been through two interesting integration as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
first one was that when Lafarge and Holcim merged globally
Mm-hmm.
in Bangladesh, actually I was leading that project as well, also the integration
Okay.
project. So that was a great learning for me. And after that, what happened was that when Unilever took over GSK food business globally, in Bangladesh also an integration took place between Unilever and the ex-GSK. So I was involved in that process as well. Again, it was great learning for me. So I always believe that whatever we do in our lives, we always have to have the curiosity to learn. If you have that, in that case, you keep on adding value all the time. That's my personal belief actually.
That's so nice of understanding the kind of views you have, and thank you for your heart and mind talks with us in VYAPT Growth Series. season 2. We will keep on inviting you for some fabulous sessions, and also keep on learning from you for the kind of wisdom you had shared us to our viewers in this particular episode. Thank you so much for being a part of the
And
series.
thank you so much, very much, Pankaj, for allowing me this session as well. Thank you very much. Thank you.